Well, hey there, YouTube. PD Two Finger here. I've been on hiatus from electronics for a while. Boy, it's been nice. It has. I had really rotten luck for a while, and that was just some things that were beyond my control. Anyway, I'm in the middle of recording a song cycle or a bunch of songs here in the living room. And today was a day I took off to rest up. I had worked all day yesterday. I'll be doing that again tomorrow, but pretty soon here I'm going to be finished with this project. I'm going to finish the music. I'm going to spend some more time mixing it and getting it to sound as best as I can do, and then I will be uploading it. Make a video. I'll probably just be title cards. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. I have two projects that were left over from when I was doing electronics that I've got to finish. As I am on hiatus pretty much for the year. A friend of mine sent me a mind-numbing project that I needed to get some information on the guy who put it together. I emailed that guy and he did not respond. So most unfortunate there, but. Yeah, I'm not planning on jumping back in, but I do have to do this Thunderbird, which is a Marshall. It's a JFET based Marshall preamp. So someone converted a Marshall amp would normally use tubes to use these JFETs, so it runs off of I think 9 or 18 volts, I forget. And this Thunderbird. It's made by a group of people who call themselves Runoff Groove. It's an internet website that's famous for their DIY guitar projects. A lot of little circuits, guitar pedals, amp emulation is what they really specialize in. And this is supposed to be just an incredible sounding Marshall in a box circuit. So my idea is to pair it with a Hey, Kita, would you like a little treat? Pair it with a Class D amp in a small box with lithium-ion rechargeable battery pack. So that will be it's a mini Marshall. But something not so similar with the MS2. The real mini Marshall. It's got volume gain, bass, mid-range, treble, and presence knob. And the amplifier, the power amplifier, is rated at 100 watts. Ooh, duck and cover. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I've got a small lunch box looking. It's actually a film Super 8. The large Super 8 reel film canister holder where you could get let's say you had 10 reels of Super 8 film, massive reels, you could fit these in this box. And that's what I bought to my intention, and it's like the Thunderbird just fits in there. It actually does. So, considering I'm probably getting, what is that, 3 and 3, 3 and 3. So that's 6, 12, 14. Will it hold the 14 batteries? The Thunderbird circuit, the 14 batteries, and the power amp board, and the jacks and switches is another story. So I bought another box, which is like a cash box. And typically you find those for around $5 at the Goodwill. So that's what's coming up. I'm going to build that Thunderbird amp, and I will be. I'll show you a little bit while I'm building it, and then when it's finished, I'll do a rough demo. But yeah, I'm excited about that project. I had this other thing that's been hanging over my neck for I don't know how long. I got this pyramid-shaped cigar box that's green. And it's got a really nice finish. It's really just sweet looking. and I mounted a large woofer, like from a computer speaker, like a sub speaker in that. And the idea is I'm going to build this, what it's called the Mystic Spirit Box. And this is a theremin replica. So I'm going to need a sine wave generator, not a 555 square wave synth. Not a square wave generator, a sine wave generator. And that's much more pure. It's much more like a human voice. It's exactly what a real theremin produces, is a sine wave. A lot of these projects that you see are 555 timers, which is a chip with 1 or 2 capacitors, a resistor, and a pot or a CDS cell. It's the simplest thing you could build, and there's a lot of guys with videos that talking about my synth that they built. It's not a synth, okay? It's a square wave oscillator. That's it. Now, I have this. This is a kit to build a test tone oscillator, which produces triangle or sine wave. And I've used these before in synths. I don't call them that. It's a noise box. But yeah, this is basically it. It's an XR2206 function generator. And what I will do on the coarse, there's a fine pot and a coarse pot. And I believe on the coarse pot I will connect a CDS cell, which is it's like you can think of it like a resistor that operates with how much light or darkness falls on that cell. And so what I'm going to do, you take an antenna and you disassemble the antenna and you take the last 2 pieces, the large diameter sections of the antenna. So in the larger of the 2, on the one end, you put this light sensor. And then you wrap that up with tape or silicone, however, super glue it in there. And then on the other one that fits in it, you put an LED in there with a wire coming out. So the closer as you move the LED, the closer it gets to the CDS cell or the light sensor, the higher in pitch. So this, in effect, what you're building is an electronic slide whistle. Okay, just whoop-ee-oo, like that. And typically with these noise circuits, you'll just have that CDS cell mounted on the top of it, and you kind of move your hand, wee wee wee. Or you could have a pot and smooth operation, or a slide pot. In this case, you have a momentary contact switch, and then you can kind of control. It's more controlled. Now I find with any type of oscillator that's gliding in pitch, adding an echo effect makes it infinitely more fun and interesting. So here's the tone generator. I've got to put that together and then modify it by substituting a CDS cell for the control pot, or just adding it. And then what you would do is set the pot at its lowest point, and then when the light hits the CDS cell, the electricity is going to take the path the least resistance. That's just going to work. So yeah, that's the tone generator, and then here is the echo. So this is a $5. That's moving around. This is a $5 eBay deal. It's got 6 to 15 volts input. I'm going to run this on 8.5 volts. It's going to be run off a pair of 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. And I'll have a sled. So basically, it's like this pyramid box that's square on the inside. There's a subwoofer type speaker in with a hole in the bottom of it, and there's rubber feet on the bottom of this trapezoid box. So I got room on one. There's 4 sides of the wall on the inside, and on the one I'm going to have the power pack. On another, I'll have the tone generator. On the back wall, I'll have the echo, and on the other wall, I'll have the amplifier. And I mean, I was thinking about putting a ring modulator. They have these like Dalek or Logan 5, and I bought those chips. I never played with them. In this case, I mean, it's called the Mystic Spirit Box, and it's supposed to emulate a theremin or a ghost sound with an echo. So I'm not going to put the. I have another device here that I built with a far superior ring mod circuit in it to the anything with a 567 CN chip. So that's kind of, it was part of the idea. It's something I'm going to do at some point, is build another one of these and cut in that cheap ring mod, because I've got the chip, but it's just that this is a lack of space. And I tell you, I've been wanting to build this Mystic Spirit Box for so many years, and I always get sidetracked by other, like, more attractive, this is some guitar device. So yeah, this is going to happen. And this board here, you need to remove this resistor, R27, the one I'm pointing at. Remove that resistor, and then there's this spot here, those 3 spots. You remove that resistor, that one there. And then these 3 spots, you cut in another pot to control the delay time. So I don't know. Am I going to mount that, like, basically on the roof of this thing, on the top, I could put a couple of pots. I could put one control, the coarse control for the sine wave. I could put a volume pot going to the amp. And then I could put this control for the delay time. The mix of it's pretty much going to be always on cranked for the delay. So is this I don't know, maybe I can just B50K. Probably what I'll do is unsolder this and move it over, and then just cut in a 50K resistor, or just short that side to give me maximum. So there's always that angle of it. So yeah, remove R27, cut in a pot 20 to 50K on SGG, and that's what's labeled here. So basically, these connectors here, I can go on the bottom of the board and just solder my own wires in. But I think I might have Gopti take a look. We have those, don't we? What? Little clips with wires in connectors under the brown fridge. Yeah, go into that. Yeah. I didn't know that. So that's the reverb. That's my echo unit. It's a PT2399, and I can show you the amp. The amp that I have for now, I actually have a 7052A. That's a 1-watt chip amp. It's the punch amp built on Vero, but I'm gonna take that out of there. This is what's going in for testing. This is a LM386 amp board that I bought. And here's the pot, this trimmer. So basically, same thing. I can solder wires in on the back and run that to a pot, whatever this is. 103, is it? It's a 103, so it's probably a 100K. So I could leave this all the way open, and then the other one would override it. It all depends. I could remove this. I could leave it on with the pot. More than likely, this is probably going to be installed for the testing process, and then I'm probably going to remove it. Simply because I'm not a fan of LM386 based amps. I got this for $1. I wanted to see how it performed. And I have a TA2030, which is, I think it's rated at 14 watts inside of this. And I got a TDA 2050 board with a pot coming. So that will enable me to turn it down. It's twice the wattage and I can turn it down. So that board is coming in here, and what's coming out of here, I'm probably going to put in the Mystic Spirit Box. So one day, when I'm done with this album, I'm going to build that a Thursday, probably when Gonti's here. I'll have her hand me the parts, check them, hand them to me, get the magnifying glass, and then I'll just solder them in, and we'll get that thing going. Once that tone module's generating tone and working, and I have this chip from Radio Shack. It's an 8-pin. It just looks like a 555 chip, and it's a tone generator, and it generates triangle and sine wave. You just hook up a pot and a resistor to it. And I've tested it, and I got sound out of it. So if I run into any snags with that, I'm sitting on this one chip that I got as a gift that I tested, and I know it'll work. It'll do exactly what I need to do. So that's my next goofy noise project. The idea is to screw all the boards in and wire it up nice and have it minimum of controls. Maybe just, I don't know. I think ideally the best option would be to have it where you open it up and you adjust the controls and close the lid. So you get this thing all set up. It's got one power switch and a momentary contact button on it. So you turn it on, and then boop, 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 this is activating the sound to make a connection. And like basically when you turn it on, it's going to fire up the amp and the delay and the tone circuit. But to connect the tone circuit's output is going to be when you make contact with that momentary contact switch. So I do need a nice, like a chrome, nice diameter, and I think I've got one in there. I've got to take a look. But yeah, that's the Mystic Spirit Box. That's what's on my plate. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to hug your pets, and peace.